What's up, everybody? Big Game James here. Ho, ho, ho. And Producer G, this is the Christmas edition here. Silver and Blue Nation, Merry Christmas to y'all. I know it's here in a couple days. We wasn't going to be at the studio today, so we're just chilling out at the crib over here. And as you see, we got the little Christmas thing going, banging gifts going on for the ladies, all that good stuff. Oh, here we go. There I am right here. Sorry about that. I'm so used to doing that. Well, what's up, everybody? And we're also NFC East champs, and I'm loving that. I'm not like super geek. Producer G is going to jump in here in a little bit. He's going to holler at some comments for me, but I'm not like super geeked right now about it. I'm happy. Trust me, I'm happy. But I'm not like super geeked because I'm just looking at it like, you know what, more business needs to be done. I predicted 10-6 at the beginning of the season. I thought it was going to not be that at the beginning when we were, 3-5. It was looking bad, but Jason Garrett rallied the troops. Had a 5-game win streak. We had the bad loss, but you know what? It's the NFL. Sometimes you lose in NFL, and I'd rather us kind of taking that L if we had to right then, because we bounced back with the big win today. Didn't look impressive on the offensive side. Dak only threw for like 160 yards. Zeke ran for under 100, had like 85 yards. Cooper really didn't do anything. It was mostly just that defense again. If you looked at Randy Gregory had the big sack. Fumble. Jalen Smith picked it up, ran it back like 69 yards, which was crazy. But just to watch his wheels, just to watch his wheels, because remember he had drop foot just last year, and they were had to have holding tape to hold his foot up when he was done with practice, or to keep the foot straight or keep it up. So to think about this guy that had drop foot and was barely keeping his foot intact, and they was double taping it, to see what he just did for running that long touchdown was pretty amazing. It's kind of like one of those poetic justice moments for a player. Like, yeah, that kind of just solidified my return back to NFL football after having a horrendous injury like he did. Randy Gregory also had another fumble off of would-be reverse off the Buccaneers play, and it got us in there. Dak Prescott threw it into Gallup, touchdown, and there we are, NFC East champs. My voice keeps going out. Hold on.
Appreciate you all tuning in right now. Producer G over here. Make sure you guys give us a like and a share. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you there too. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. If you're not on YouTube yet, go check that out as well. As you can see here, we're doing the home edition tonight.
The home edition.
Let me give a few shout-outs, and you can too. We're looking at Facebook Live right now. We got Cameron Cabin in there. Polo, what's going on? Ron Garrett, our guy. Wendy Salter, KG Gist. John Tomko, DD Cruz, Brian Hartley, Eric Doxson, Richard Wooder, Glenn Justice, Mr. Hargrove. Appreciate all of you. Katina, Annette's in there. Thank you guys for all those comments. We appreciate it. All of our regulars. Keep the comments coming. We're going to definitely take some questions here soon. NFC East champs, like he said. Got your throat cleared up?
Yeah, I got my throat cleared up. It's good now. I was like, let me clear my throat.
And I'm going to come to YouTube in a second, too.
Just kept going out. Appreciate everybody. DDP, I see him come in there. Everybody was saying what's up. I think there was a question. My bifocals aren't the greatest. They're more for seeing far away and not near. I ain't going to keep taking them off and on, but I kind of need them right now. But can Philly still get in the playoffs? Yes. I mean, they can still. They're still mathematically still in. They can still get a wild card. So I'm not really worried about them. I definitely wouldn't mind playing them again. But if it holds up, it's looking like we will be playing possibly the Seattle Seahawks, which I definitely welcome because we haven't beat them in the last few years, and we've been close. We should have beat them, I believe, earlier this year. We lost to them when we had Matt Castle, and they only beat us 10-9. It's just we've been playing really close games with them, and I feel like we owe them. And I definitely wouldn't mind playing the Saints again if that's who we have to go through, or the Rams. I just feel like with our defense, we can beat any team. We did have the defeat last week, with the Colts, but like we said, it's the NFL. You have 5-game win streak. Anything can happen, and it's not like we played super terrible. We were moving the ball. We could have scored. We basically hurt ourselves in that beginning of the game, so it wasn't like they just totally dominated us from the outset.
Yeah, and even during that game, we was talking about how it might not be a good thing to roll into the playoffs if you're winning like 8, 9 in a row, something like that. Because what are the odds you're going to win like 12 or more in a row? Because that's what you'd have to do if you win out. So you kind of want to get a loss out the way, I think, so you can kind of get back into a streak. Because all streaks come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely, I mean, it sucked to get 0 points, but like Zeke even said, it needed that reality check throughout the week. So that was probably a wake-up call, especially for the defense. They probably really felt like they let the team down, even though it was the offense in my mind. But offense didn't show up great today either, but the defense came through big time. They played big at home, so it was a big win today. But hopefully now we can get back in that streak. Finish out the season on a win, carrying that momentum into the playoffs, and just go on from there. But real quick, let me give a couple quick YouTube shout-outs.
All right.
Kevin Kincaid, Flows Infinite, Maximus, Dustin Merriman's in there on YouTube too. Texas T, T Smooth, Trey Prather, Pork Chop, Gabino, Daniel Candelera, Matt Shelby, Stevie Mack, our guy. Appreciate
Stevie
you guys.
Mack.
Tabitha Duckett, Ron Smith, Daryl Branscombe. Thanks for all those comments. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody tuning in right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, it's a, we still got the one game. I said we'd be 10-6. We still got the one game. I definitely wanted to beat the Giants. Now, I guess the biggest thing is everybody's going to be talking about is, are they going to rest players because they won the NFC East? We're already in the playoffs. We guarantee at least one home game.
Yep.
So that's going to be the biggest question. Do they rest people? People talk about it so many times in the playoffs, having momentum, going into the playoffs, having momentum. If you rest players and you get beat bad, will that carry over into your playoffs? I mean, right now we're 7-1 at home. We have a really good record this year at home.
Yep.
So it's for us, to be at home this year because we have a good record at home. I personally think, play who you can play. People who just must really need it rest, like you could say Zach Martin probably really does need rest. So you can rest him or possibly a Tyron Smith. But as other people, I think you should play, especially that defense. You're going to New York, and I definitely think that we should go in winning. I don't want us to go in getting our heads kind of beat in or getting kind of dominated before we go. You know how the Giants have one of them, even though we're in there, they have one of them rally games. I can't remember what team we played. We were going into the playoffs, and they beat us bad before we went into the playoffs. It might have been the Redskins. I think it might have been under Wade Phillips. But we got beat real bad before we went to the playoffs, and then it just carried right over into the playoffs. Yeah. So I'd rather be winning going into the playoffs and having that momentum.
Momentum is everything in football, and I don't think we should be resting anybody, in my personal opinion. If you look back in 2016, we had that bye week. That wasn't good for us.
Yeah.
So I think, we're not going to get a bye week this season. So I think we just
that's
ride it out.
Good.
We keep going in on that momentum. We try to get another 5-6 game win streak going in my mind. What's up, Wendy Salter? Marilyn Lopez, appreciate you. Tony Pereira, I'm looking at Facebook Live. Bam Franklin's in there. What's going on, Bam? Willie Stovall. Fred Serial. Jay Favela says, any news on Crawford?
They were saying that he was basically had feeling in his extremities, arms, legs. Just one of them kind of dingers that you kind of catch, if you played any kind of football, you can get hit the wrong way and it just have that kind of sting in your neck where you're just paralyzed for a second, and then your reflexes kind of come back, your extremities come back, but for that quick second, you're really paralyzed.
He gave the thumbs up.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of one of those situations, but you can never know with the neck or any kind of that, so I know they're going to be really precautious with that. But Karan Reed came in and played in the game, number 51, and he's been playing pretty decent. So he played good in the game. Antoine Woods came in, played good as usual. The front line played good. Malik Collins had a sack today. He played well. So all in all, the offensive line from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is not a bad offensive line, and so we definitely, like you said, getting shut out and having a kind of so-so defensive performance coming back and kind of winning the game is a good thing that the defense really wanted to do, and it proved that today.
LVE kind of looked not himself last week too, but he looked back in form today.
Yeah, he did. He had, I think, 15 tackles today. So
that's big.
That's huge. I think I was looking at his stats. He's got a 129, I believe, for the year. He's already the all-time he set a record for most tackles as a rookie in Dallas Cowboys history. For tackles, Jalen Smith was right behind him. He had 10 tackles a day. I believe Jalen Smith is like at 115 for the season, and that's pretty. Like I said, people talk about LVE, and it's pretty awesome what LVE has done, because a lot of people, like I said, I'll go to myself, not really wanting that pick at 19, but he's proved a lot of doubters wrong. A lot of people thought he was going to be a bust, Bobby Carpenter, that type of thing. But he's proved a lot of people wrong. But people got to remember Jalen Smith's got 115 tackles. I believe he had like 75 last year, and that was on pretty much 1 foot. To come back and rehab from drop foot, I had not seen it done in the NFL, and to get 115 tackles with still 1 game left is pretty amazing. And to run that football the way he did on that fumble return was just awesome, and people just really got to give him props the way he's battled back and stayed positive the whole time. Clear eye view.
It's a great story right now in the league, not just for the Cowboys but the league. Looking back at the Facebook Live comments, looking back on the subject of would you rest people next week, Bam says I would play Zeke and Dak in the first quarter, then sit them. I don't really like that because that's what we did in 16, and I just felt like we came out in that game against Green Bay real sluggish, and it took the whole game for us to finally start clicking. And I just, like I said before, I want to carry that momentum in.
Well, they're not going to – I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to play the whole game. They're going to play at least the first half.
Man, because they need the work.
Yeah, I feel you.
don't want to get them hurt, but they need the work.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. They're not.
I don't
want to
lose the game. Put it that way.
I feel you, but
we
the Giants, it ain't like the Giants are a good team anyway. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably be playing on edge just because it's the Cowboys' last game of the year. But I'll tell you right now, Zeke. But I don't know. I was telling Zeke they should have rested Zeke in that Colts game, and they kept playing him, and the game was 23 clearly out of hand, and they kept playing him. So who knows? Who knows what happens? I remember, like I said, 2014 when we were playing well, and we won the East. And they were wondering, were we going to rest against the Redskins? And Garrett pretty much played the starters all the way through almost through the third quarter, and we dominated them. And we had the good run, even though it was kind of lucky how we, so we smashed them like 44-14, I believe.
Something like that,
so we kicked their butts, and everybody was talking about should we rest, and we came in with our stars. And we played them all the way through the third quarter. And I liked how we played that way, and no injuries came out of that game. So you can look at it twofold. You can rest in your head, but in that type of atmosphere, we had already won it, and we dominated.
What's up, Mama T in Facebook? Kathleen Ann watching in Philadelphia. Appreciate you. She says, I love Cowboys Nation. Leon Davis says, keep the engine hot, talking about playing the players. Kim Johnson says, hey, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Kim.
Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, let us know where you guys are watching us from. Where did you watch the game from today? Where are you spending your holidays, your Christmas? Let us know in the comments. We'll try to get you shout-outs. Christian Manriquez says, do you think Dak will play better?
As a whole, or just, heading into the playoffs?
Probably just going forward.
I think the problem is, and, if you really looked at our offense today, I was just really frustrated. And you just really, you don't want to beat a dead horse when you keep on talking about Scott Linehan. But his stuff, when you really just go look at his offense, if you sat there and just study the game and just study the Cowboys offense and just watched it each week, you would know kind of their playbook. It's not like there's tons of plays in there, but it seems like it's just so simplified. There's so many certain plays that are being run, and it just seems like it's so easy for the defense to know what we're doing, and we're just so blah. We have weapons. We have guys like Michael Gallup who can play. Amari Cooper. We have Zeke. We have guys that can make plays. Amari Cooper. You know what I mean? We have guys out there that can go out there and make some plays. Cole Beasley. But it just seems like we're just such a basic offense and so boring, and we can't get downfield, and we get any down and distance, we're in trouble. That's the problem. So it's not just Dak to me. It's that play calling that hinders him. If they continue to, I believe I said a long time ago, Scott Linehan sabotages him with the play calling, and then it makes Dak to be this pocket passer, and he's just not that guy that needs to be winging it 40 times a game. He needs to be running around, quick kind of offense, and he needs to throw about 25, maybe 30 times, and Zeke need to get that ball. That's what it needs to look like with Dak, and he can play good that way.
Yeah, that seems to be a formula every time we get a dub. It seems to be like the type of numbers you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Again, still looking at Facebook. Jorge Castilla, what's going on? Mama T, Mark Dare, how you doing? Appreciate you guys leaving us comments. I'm trying to see if there's any good questions in here. Chris Carrillo, he's talking again about resting people or not next week. Brian Fitzgerald, what's going on? Jawan James says rest Zeke. He's taking a beating this season.
Yeah, I mean, but
Marvin.
you know what? He's our running back. He's got to get the ball. That's what they do.
Mr. Hargrove says the score of that Redskins game was 44-17 back in 2014, the last game of the season.
Close. I was 3 off.
But that was a big one because we went into that season with a win.
Right, and that's
And
what
we
I'm
gotta
saying. We had a
win
lot of
playoffs.
momentum in them playoffs, and I believe it helped us going in the playoffs because they were wondering, like, are they going to rest? Because remember, we had Romo, we had Murray, we had Bryant, and we had all those guys were having like phenomenal
Stud
years. They were having like career years.
One of the best Cowboys years.
Yeah, they were
ever.
having career years, so it was obvious. You can go ahead and rest him, but Garrett didn't do it, and he kept the momentum, and that can happen in this game. If you play and be fearful of injuries happen. So that's the thing to me. People always like, oh, well, rest him because the injury can happen. But usually when you just play football and don't worry about that stuff, the injuries don't happen. It's when you usually rest and those type of things, that's when the injuries and the momentum usually stops. So I say maybe a Zach Martin because he does have some bad injuries. Tyron Smith does have a really bad back. That's okay if you rest him because you got some good subs that probably need that work anyway. But as far as the rest of the team, I say play him. I'd say Dak, he should probably play, and Zeke should probably play. Depending on that score, see what Zeke is after that, and just kind of look at how this kind of the game is going. That's how I think you should kind of play it by ear as far as with Dak in that situation.
What's up, Aaron Howard, Russell Harrison? Katina's in Georgia watching.
What up?
Willie Stovall says, do you start Sean Lee?
Do we start Sean Lee? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you can start Sean Lee. That's not a bad option to me. You see, he was inactive, and I told y'all he was going to be, and I told y'all he was going to come off that bench. And didn't I tell you how they was going to not mess up the momentum with LVE and bring him off the bench? And it's going to help him. And I was also saying that it's good that you can rest him because now you can have him for the playoff run and he can be fresh. That's another week of hamstrings. I say give another week where he can rest his hamstrings and be fresh for that playoff game. That's my thing. If he ain't really got to play, don't really let him play because, you may need him in that big playoff game.
A couple of location shout-outs. Mr. Hargrove in Statesville. He's on the road right now. Kim Davis in North Carolina. Brian Hartley said rest everyone next week.
No, I ain't resting everyone. No, I ain't doing that.
What's he talking about, Shanahan?
Oh.
What's he talking about?
I don't know. I'm talking about resting everyone.
I'm not sure what you mean there, Brian Hartley, by Shanahan, but Giovanni Ramirez says looking like you're warm and cozy.
Yeah, definitely. We are definitely warm and cozy. You know how you know you're warm and cozy? When you hear the heat. Like, me, that's how the significance of heat. Like, when I go into bed and I lay down and I hear that heat, that kind of just puts me at ease and puts me to sleep the way I want.
Brian Fitzgerald said he's the real Santa. He's a UPS driver.
Yes, he is.
Yes,
he is. I used to work at UPS, and I used to help those drivers. I used to get great. They used to give me great tips.
Yes, they are the ones that do all the heavy lifting around this time. Super busy, I'm sure.
And they will tip you good.
Ricky Rosario says something the offense has to change. Daniel Candelera says, what do you think about penalties on our defense? And I'm looking at Facebook Live right now. We'll come back to you, YouTube.
Wow. I think it's crazy. I think these refs are, I've never really seen a job by these refs like this. Those penalties that were called today, just amazing to me. You got a roughing the passer. Randy Gregory spent off the man and basically spent off him, and it was basically he was falling into Winston because there was no way he could kind of break the fall. And with the way he landed, it was like there was no way he could break his fall because of the way he was coming down. And it's like the refs are like almost like, well, I'm gonna call it in the era of safety. So it's going to save them. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to save them, G. Like, if they err on the air of, well, that's what the rule says, so that's what we'll do. daggone well that wasn't no roughing the passer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just some of the calls that we get hit face mask calls, and you see Dak get face masks and they don't get the call on him. So it's just been a weird season. I can't really put my finger on these defensive calls, but let's definitely be leery of the playoffs because it seems like them things really go against us at that period of time.
Ron Garrett said, how about some glory hole? We don't have the sound effects with us right now, Ron.
Yeah, we at the crib.
But we will be back in the studio in no time.
We love that glory.
Dominique Whitley says, Dallas Nation, what's going on? Dominique,
What's
appreciate
up?
you tuning in.
What's up?
Thaddeus Lewis says, I'm late. Any news on Crawford? If you want to quickly recap that one real quick.
Basically, they said the Crawford situation is okay. It's not going to be one of those things lingering. Just kind of, you get a stinger, you get that temporary paralysis. It happens. You kind of move on. They're going to rest. Believe they said he was getting taken out the hospital today and going back home. So I don't believe it's anything serious. He's going to be okay. It's just one of the things they're going to monitor because it is in that neck area.
Alberto Gutierrez, what's going on? Chris Carrillo in Del Rio, Texas. Christian in Brownsville, Texas.
I think one of the biggest things to me, G, is, I haven't counted on David Irvin, and I'm not really counting on him.
Yeah.
But Lord have mercy. If he and Sean Lee can be ready for those playoffs, that would be a huge addition.
That's all we need him for, 5 games.
I mean, just come on,
4 games.
We was just talking about on the Cowboys experience this past Wednesday when Vach was on here, and he was like, just give me 4 games. And I feel you, just 4 games, David Irvin. Just ball out. You set out the whole season. You're super fresh. Just do it for your daughter. Do it for something right now for these 4 games. If we can get him, I'm not counting on him, but if we could get him for the playoffs, man, he changes the whole game. You feel me, G? He changes the whole game. Like I said, he makes your Antoine Woods better. He makes your Karan Reed better. He makes your Malik Collins. He makes your whole front line better because that's size, dog. You just don't see that. And he knows what he's doing. He's a beast. Like, his hand placement movement is crazy. I mean, he comes in and he's right after you. When we played against the Packers, right after you. His hand movement when we played the Jaguars, I believe that one game when he came in before he got hurt. First move, he comes off the line. Boom, boom, boom. He's already after Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles throwing the ball away. Mm-hmm. You get that in the playoffs, dog, it's going to take our defense, which is already top 5, right? Already top 5. You take it from top 5, and you're going to take that top 1, 2 when you got a guy like that.
Yes, Ron Smith in Salt Lake City. We can't forget about you, Ron Smith. He's been there from day one.
Day one, A1, day
YouTube,
one.
Facebook, he's all over the place. He follows us everywhere, Instagram, Twitter. We appreciate you, Ron. We always love you. And Gabino has a good question here. Ron Garrett responds to the glory hole comment, says, haha, it's funny. So Ron Garrett thinks the glory hole is funny. Yes, it is. And Brian Fitzgerald says, nice tree back there, James.
Appreciate it's not mine. It's the ladies are excellent at how they do it, and they got all their little pretty lady stuff up there. That's how they do it.
Gabino says, why do you feel Dak doesn't just tuck that ball on the red zone? He could be a threat in there, which he did in the early part of this game, but
I don't know. I'm really trying to put my finger on it. It frustrates me. I wish I could be the fly on the wall and see what really happens in that quarterback room when they talk. Because I've been saying run the ball. Like when we get the ball and it's like a 3rd and 4, a 3rd and 5, I want Dak to run it. If he doesn't see anything, you don't have to sit there and try to be this pocket passer and try to prove everything. I don't know if that's what he's doing, but you don't got to prove it. Just run that football. It's okay. People are talking about why is Cam Newton so sweet, or when when you watch Russell Wilson, that dude can throw the ball, right? Mm-hmm. But guess what? When Russell Wilson sees a opening and it's a 3rd and 4, he's gone. You know what I mean? He don't play around. He pump fakes you, and he runs. He does whatever it takes to get those first downs. If he got to pass it for the first down, he's going to pass it. If he needs to run it, he's going to run it. And I feel like that's what Dak needs to do. Stop sitting there trying to feel like you got to hold that ball and make that complete pass. Run, dude, run. You 6'2", 240-something pounds. You big. You know how to run. And it just seems like once he gets to running and gets to moving back and forth, the whole offense changes. It seems like we're in that kind of that good engine mode, and
because you're double threat now.
Yeah, so now you don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to run it? You got to guard that. Boom. Go with the pump fake, because now you think he's going to run it. Amari Cooper or Gallup, who's been stepping up, who we said they got a good connection. Man, hit them guys. Cole Beasley. I'm telling you, he caught him on a couple good first down plays. Those 3 guys are a good 3 core.
Yeah. I'm looking back over here at YouTube now. We got Joshua Whitlock in there. Virginia's finest. What's going on? Deffy Dorsey says beautiful tree.
Oh, thank you. Once again, that's the ladies. They're really good at that stuff. I don't do it.
John Jones,
just like the great gifts. Look at all that great rapping. That's her. That's not me. I don't do that stuff.
Brandon Danzy says Dak's good if we only got to pay him like 18 to 20 million.
I mean, everybody's tripping on that. Just like you, I think we were talking last week, G. Or, if they do sign him the way the contracts are going up, just like they said, with Pat Mahomes, he's going to get a lot of money. So now when you look at signing Dak for like a $20 million, that's more of a bargain now than where we're talking about. Nobody's paying him $20 million a year. That's more of a bargain now to get Dak at $20 million. And guess what? He's a winner. 3 years in the league. 2 out of 3 years, NFC East champs. That's got to say something.
Mm-hmm.
He's a winner.
Virginia's finest ass is Tavon Austin playing next week.
I don't know. He should. Once again, I seen him on that bench jumping up and down. He should. Let's hope so. They said he's rehabbing and getting close. He would be a great addition as well on the offensive side because we need somebody who's going to be a threat in that special teams game, especially the punt returns, because we know daggone well Beasley is not a threat in the punt return game. So we definitely need Tavon Austin back, if anything, just for that, getting punt returns, because you never know, he can spring one. He has that speed. So, yes, I don't know if he's going to be back. I don't know if they were planning or worry about resting him for the playoffs. But I feel like if he is healthy, definitely get him out there because he needs to get that body rep before the next game.
What's up, Ryan Stanley, Sir Charles Edward Cheese? The YouTube names are funny.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate the comments. Do you think this team can really win a Super Bowl?
You know what? I've been saying they can't.
Is this team good enough to win?
They have the talent, yes. I've been saying they can't because I don't think Garrett can do it, and I did say I don't see Jerry winning another Super Bowl under Jerry. Do they have the potential, the team to do it? Yes, we got the defense to do it. We got the offense of potential to score, but I don't know. I really don't know. I said what I'm judging Garrett now on is playoff victories, not regular season victories. So, yes, that's great that we are 9-6 and we have a winning season, but at the end of the day, we need to have playoff wins. So that's what I'm going to be judging. So I'm looking at that first playoff game and that first playoff home game. I don't care about anything else. So I don't know. I'm just being honest with you. This team is a Jekyll and Hyde team. We have the talent to win a Super Bowl, but I don't know if we can.
Antonio Leyva Jr. tunes in, says, "What's up, Big Game James?"
What up? How you doing?
Christian Manriquez has been watching you since 1998. I'm not really sure. I'm not really. You mean the Cowboys? Let us know what you mean by that, Christian.
Definitely
Matt Shelby says, Smith. Well, here first. Well, then Christian makes another comment and says Prescott needs to play a Tom Brady. No ifs, ands, or buts. Still, again, Christian, try to clear that up for me a little bit. Matt Shelby says Smith didn't even need to hold JPP on that big run. Zeke would have got it regardless.
Yeah. There's been a lot of
How big was
suspect calls.
that run? Because I missed that part.
It was like a 30-yard run. I mean, Zeke had a run before it that was a really good run. Then right after that was the big run after it. And it just seems like every time you see Zeke get one of those 15-yard gains or longer, it's always a holding penalty. And it's frustrating because it stops the momentum of the team when we're really trucking it and really going. And Zeke gets really going because I'm going to tell you right now, there was a couple of runs where Zeke got on the outside, and Zeke looked like the Zeke. It looks like he's trimming down. It looks like to me he picked up that weight. But it was more like the thickness because you're playing NFL football now. You're not in college anymore. Your body naturally gets bigger. But it looks like he's leaner. And when he got out a couple of times on the outside, you could see that speed getting out there again. So even though he's played banged up a little bit, he still looked really good running that ball. And, the thing with Tyron Smith is what it is, but we got to clean up that because I think Dallas is one of the highest graded penalty teams this year, along with the highest sacks this year. So they definitely have to clean it up on the offensive side of the ball if we think we're going to do anything in the playoffs.
Christian says watching the Cowboys since '97. Okay, Christian, thanks for clearing that up for us on Facebook Live. Derek Abel, what's up? Brian Garcia, Tim Warner. Thanks for your comments. James Nook says we got Seattle, which is not going to be easy. What do you think about that?
As I said before, it's not going to be easy, but I definitely feel like we can beat them. I feel like it'll be a different story. I don't know if people go with me on this, but I feel like our defense will dominate them, especially if we get a David Irvin back for the playoffs and a Sean Lee. I think that would be huge for us, and I feel like we can really frustrate Russell Wilson. They don't have a lot of offensive weapons. He is just dynamic. They have a decent offensive line, and yes, their defense is pretty good, but I still feel like we can beat them, and we owe them, and that's a team we can definitely beat, and I'm ready for them, and I definitely feel like we can beat them, and I'm ready for the Rams or the Seahawks. I mean, not the Rams or the Saints, if that were to happen as well, because
I feel good about those.
We have the team that can beat any one of those teams. I said at the beginning of the season, this was a season or year that the NFC was not that tough, and Dallas could slide in there and make waves. The NFC East, remember we said in the beginning of the season, G, that we didn't think the NFC East was going to be tough this year, and that this was a year that we could really capture it. And guess what? We did. Because why? The NFC East was not that great this year. So capitalize on the NFC East being down. You know what I mean? Capitalize on that. So now we have the East won again. We're headed to the playoffs. Now let's see what Garrett's going to do. You feel me, G?
How many division titles is that now for Garrett?
That's what, 3? He has 3 division titles: 2014, 2016, and now 2018.
That's crazy.
And in 2015, he had the 4-12, and then 9-7. So really, out of that, 5 years, he's only had 1 losing season and 3 titles.
Yeah, he's never been except for one time under 8-8, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And that was without Romo.
That was
That was a Brandon Weeden, Matt Castle season.
So, really, if it's crazy because when you go and look at it in them terms, you're like, damn, you probably want to shut up about Garrett. You get what I'm saying? Because he's got NFC East titles, multiple NFC East titles. He's only had 1 losing season, and that's without his quarterback. All the other seasons have been at least 500.
It just feels like it's taking forever, though, to get
I know.
beyond the wild card round.
You're frustrated because, like I said, it's only 1 playoff victory, and all that goodness that you hear about Garrett, right there, it's like it's only 1 playoff win, and that's what stands out to me. And so, hey, he can prove me wrong, but he's going to prove a lot of people wrong because a lot of people, it's not like we're just saying it. There's a lot of people have been saying, get rid of Garrett.
James Nook said 3 titles in the last 5 years for him.
Yeah.
Diana Nolan, what's going on? Antonio Leva says, bring on the Hawks. Joe Tranchina, what's up? Watching over in Italy. We always appreciate you tuning in.
Yes, we always appreciate our overseas.
That's huge where he's over there on the other side of the world.
Like the other side of the tracks.
But, yeah, so keep your comments coming in, guys, on Facebook and YouTube. We appreciate all of you. Make sure you like and share.
Like I said with the Garrett thing, it's just kind of crazy how this is going, and what's really going to happen. Like, could we really be that team that we've talked about when we seen the Giants and the Steelers and we seen the Ravens? And remember how we seen those teams that have been 3-5 or 4-5? That cat is going crazy over here. Got a cat up in here.
They get in the playoffs and then get hot.
Yeah, and they always get on fire, and then they go through the playoffs right, and just beat everybody. We've always said, why can't that ever be us? Haven't we always said that, G? Haven't we always said, why can't that be us? Why can't we be the team that ever does that? Because we always choke. We always
felt like we had the players.
Yeah, but we just never could do it. Maybe this might be finally our time that this can finally happen. Who knows? We shall see.
You gonna look at some of those comments? I know you got your.
Yeah, I'm about to take the bifocals. Yeah, see, I told you the bifocals. See, when I take the bifocals. All right, I got some Merry Christmas, bro. What's up, Barry, the Godfather? He's watching. What's up with you, Barry, Godfather? How you doing? But I'm just looking at some of the comments right now. Yeah, watching from Italy. You know I love that. But I think the biggest thing to me when I'm just looking at the comments right now, when you have a defense that can help you and can carry you, that's the biggest thing that can do anything for your whole team. Defense wins championships. We've seen it time and time again in Super Bowls. The 85 Bears. We seen the Giants defense. We seen the Seahawks when they won the Super Bowl. We seen the Broncos when they won the Super Bowl. We seen all those teams when they win the Super Bowl. It's usually the defense that has been coming through. You know what I mean? So that's what kind of stands out in my heart more than anything is the defense. So when I look at playoffs and the consideration of us going to the playoffs and what's really going to make us bang through the playoffs is that defense. And when you got a Randy Gregory who's got 6 sacks and looking good coming on at the end of the year, a DeMarcus Lawrence who's been good pretty much the whole year, Antoine Woods, and I'm telling you, if we could really get a David Irving in the mix, if he really could come back and play for us, that would be huge because he's fresh. He would just be that gigantic addition, and for those 4 games, he can just take our defense crazy. So anybody can just holler at me right now, ask some questions, to give me your kind of thoughts on this game. I thought it was kind of a game where I can't really describe this game. This game was kind of like a ho-hum game. Wasn't really like jumping up and down about the game. It was more kind of like I didn't think Tampa Bay was good enough to beat us, and I felt like we should just need to handle our business. It was good to see the defense bounce back like it did. But as I said before, I never really thought the NFC teams out there this year could really beat us. I thought that if anything that happened this year, we would be beating ourselves, and I feel like that's happened a lot of times this year when we lost our games. It hasn't been really teams that's really dominate us. We just really shoot ourselves in the foot too many times with bad penalties, just miscues, and that just really hurt us. Because I just think the games that we lost this year, no teams really just outright kind of dominate us. Even the Colts lost, I don't even think they dominated us. We kept it, we get a blocked field goal, we drop a touchdown. We just really hurt ourselves in a lot of these losses, and I just really feel like at the end of the day, we can bang with any team in the NFC, and it should show. It's just really going to be the coaching this year is if it's going to take us over the top. Yes or no? That's what it is. Is Garrett going to do it this year? You know what I'm saying? Or, is this going to be the time because we have the talent? People can say what they want about Dak Prescott. People can say what they want about him, but he's a winner. We had the show this past week, and if you look at it, like I said, 2 or 3 years, been here 3 years, a 4th-round draft pick. He was supposed to sit. I'm going to keep on going back to it. Dak Prescott was supposed to sit for the first couple of years with Romo. So he wasn't even supposed to be ready right now. He would just have 1 year playing right now. But he's came and hit the ground running. 3 years, winning record every year, NFC East title 2 of his 3 years. That shows that you're a winner. So regardless of his throwing motion or he overthrows people or he doesn't have the anticipation throws, and we all can see and know that, at the end of the day, he's a winner. He's got us in the playoffs once again, and anything can happen in the playoffs. So what are people going to say if he really would take us to the Super Bowl and win it? What would people say about Dak Prescott then? Would they say it's the defense? That's what I'm going to be wondering. What would people say if Dallas really were to win the Super Bowl and Dak Prescott was the quarterback? Would he get the respect that he deserved then? That would be the question. Or people would say, oh, it was the defense or it was this and that. I still don't think he would probably get the recognition that he deserved, in that aspect. But y'all kind of tell me. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll see. Well, I got a question from Mitchell Henley right now. It says, how much do you think injuries to our offensive line will hamper Dak Prescott this year? I definitely think it had an issue. I mean, we are, I think, the leading sack given up this year, over 50 sacks this year. It's definitely going to hurt you as a quarterback if you're getting hit that many times. But I definitely feel Dak contributed to that by holding the ball. But twofold. That could be bad play calling, or why he's holding on to the ball. And also, he didn't really have a good outlet this year unless it was Ezekiel Elliott. He didn't really have the tight end position really stepping up like it did the last few games. So that can kind of hamper you as a quarterback. It's not just you holding the ball. Did Dak miss throws this year? Hell yeah. Dak has missed throws. Has he continued to miss throws? Yes, he has. but it hasn't been all Dak Prescott this year. It has been other things that has hindered Dak Prescott. The line play hasn't been the greatest. It's been uneven. You lose Travis Frederick. You had Zach Martin, who's really been playing hurt all year. Tyron Smith still with the bad back, so it hasn't been the greatest line this year. So you got to look at all those factors of why your quarterback is not playing the greatest. But Dak does have a say in why he has played bad. But guess what? We're still in the playoffs, and that's all that matters right now.
Appreciate everybody who's been leaving us comments today. I don't know how long you want to go on here, but take a few more questions.
Yeah, we'll take a few more questions. Brian Garcia asks, he says, if Garrett wins the Super Bowl, will he get his respect then?
Yeah.
Will Cowboys give him his respect, or will they say it's somebody else? I don't know.
I think he will if he wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give him his respect. I can't say nothing against him. I mean, I have to give him his props right now, and I said that the last few shows that, you know, and a lot of people have said this, that the team has never given up on Garrett, but we have said that since we've been having Silver and Blue, G. We have said that the team never quits on Garrett.
Yeah.
And we have said that in multiple, people have said that the team does not quit on him no matter what. So you got to give him props, and the team could have folded. We all thought that
3-5 start.
3-5, it was over. We thought it was over for us. A lot of people did, and he rallied, and that team stayed together. And now look, they're NFC East champs.
6-1 since then.
So that's pretty big. So you got to give him his props. I got to give him his props. I can't say nothing against Jason Garrett right now. The only thing I can say is now show me in these playoffs. Show me you can do it. If he does it, I can definitely eat crow. I told you. You can put a crow on top of my dinner plate, a big fat-ass crow, and I'm not going to eat a real one, but I'll eat a fake one in front of you. You hear me, G? Yes, Crawford is still hurt, but he's going to be okay. So we'll be okay with that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, we're not going to go too much longer because this is the Christmas edition, and we all want to get back to our Christmas things. You see the lights banging. I believe somebody asked me, Leslie Adrian Chapa asked, is one of those presents mine? No, it's not, but I don't know. I might could send you a present if you like Barbie dolls, because I know we got hella Barbie dolls up in here. Might hook you up with something like that.
The best way to start is to like and share the video.
Yes.
And subscribe to the page.
Yes, like and share the video.
That's a good start.
Like and share the video. We appreciate everybody who tuned in today. Like I said, we didn't get to do our play-by-play because we basically was like a blackout out here, which was surprising. We thought we was going to at least show the Cowboys, but we're in Ohio, so they were showing them Browns country games. So we apologize we didn't do our play-by-play, but we still got the W. We did our post game. Make sure you check out the Cowboys Experience. We're on that site as well, so make sure you like and subscribe to that page. There's a lot of good things going on. We do a weekly show on there every Wednesday. So make sure you check out this Wednesday show. We're going to have a good surprise for you. So make sure you continue to do that. We have a Patreon account for our Silver and Blue Nation. Make sure if you can contribute to that. Anything that you like, $1, anything. Because it's going to, like I said, continue to have us bring you even better content, more videos, more things Cowboy related, and more kind of closeness to the players and what's really going on. So we can't continue to do that, because it costs money to do those type of things. So if you want to subscribe, our Patreon, Silver and Blue Nation, patreon.com.
Patreon.com/Silver Blue Nation.
There it is. Make sure you check. You can subscribe as low as $1, and that's not going to kill you, because if you think about what you spend in your life, you spend more than $1 out there, and it's just going to help us continue to bring more Cowboy stuff to you. If you checked out the Cowboys Experience, I went to one with the Detroit Lions. Producer G and me just went down to the big Philly game, and possibly be going down to this playoff game. So we're trying to get that popping too. So, man, just get out there and hit that like and share button and subscribe to us.
Jeff Holly appreciates it from North Carolina. Thanks, Jeff. And hope everybody has a great Christmas. If we missed your comments, don't worry. That's why you got to subscribe, so we can get you on the next stream, because we do this every week.
What's
So,
up, Shalonda Tucker?
Yes.
What's up?
Miss
Good to
Tucker.
see you on there. You should, make sure
she
you
checks in right at the end of the show.
checks in right in the show, but make sure you're listening to the show what we were talking about. And we might have some good business for you, Miss Tucker. So I'm glad you popped in. So I need to holler at you anyway. So we need to get that popping because, we got some good things coming down for the off season, G. And we're trying to just really, we've been talking about it, folks out here. We've been talking about it, but we really been grinding, G. They'll tell you we've been really doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes to really let y'all see what's really going on, and I really think you're going to see this all season. So what we've been saying that's going on, you're really going to find out. So stay tuned for Silver Blue Nation, Cowboys Experience, Law Nation, all those guys out there. We're going to bring you some real hot Cowboys stuff, and you're really going to love it.
Yeah, some last second Facebook shout outs. Tina Maschotmeyer, what's going on? Mitchell Henley, Michael Davis, our guy Thaddeus Lewis, Jakara Williams, Bonnie Southers. Appreciate everybody who left us comments tonight. If we didn't get to you on YouTube, same thing. Hit the subscribe button. We're live every week, so we'll definitely get in touch with you there.
Thaddeus Lewis, he said, hella Barbie dolls.
in the boxes.
Yes.
Presents.
Yes, hella Barbie dolls back here. Like I said, we got 3 ladies out here, 3 young ladies, so I don't want to say too much because they might be sneaking and try to watch, the show. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to say too much because they'll be trying to watch the show too. So I can't be telling all the goodies, but they're going to have a good-ass Christmas. My son too. So we're just trying to hook it up, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm all about the Grinch. I ain't really feeling Christmas. I ain't really been on it for a while. But right now, seeing the tree and all these presents, it's got me all Christmassy inside. So I might have some eggnog and some cookies. Baby girl probably going to get up and cook me some Christmas dinner and some Christmas cookies. Isn't she? I've already put her up to it, so she's going to get to it real soon. And we just thank you for today. And producer G came over to the crib, kicked it. I love him because he's just right down the street. Hey, we're having a good time today.
Ed Burgess from Ohio, what's up? Merry Christmas to all a good week. NFC East champions, Dallas Cowboys. Let's go out here and go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, do you really think it can happen before we get up off here?
I think we got a formula to win the Super Bowl. I've been comparing this team to the 2014 Seahawks. You got a strong beastie running back like Marshawn Lynch back then, a good offensive line, average quarterback play as Russell Wilson was at that time. He wasn't developed yet, and I still feel the same way about Dak. He's not developed. And you have a very strong defense, Legion of Boom with Chris Richard. Here he is in Dallas. It just feels like the same makeup that 2014 Seahawks had. And I think with your defense winning games for you, you're going to have a good chance to win a Super Bowl. But the offense does scare me a little bit because they got to be able to put up some points. And if we get down by 2 or more scores, I don't feel confident. But I do think we just seen a 5-game run. Let's go on another 5-game run starting next week, win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, we're going to see. I've been saying I don't say it can happen, but when you get a defense, anything can happen when you have a defense. And I'm just kind of that day by day right now, like probably a lot of us are. We're just waiting and seeing because you know what? One playoff win still with Garrett. As much as you've done, Garrett, and you've been banging out, I can't really say you haven't. If I look at your record and what you've done since you've been with the Cowboys, I've had to rant. I wrote an article and said you must go. When you look at a lot of things, there's no reason for you to go. If you look at what he's done with the Cowboys as far as his record, you would be like, man, shut up. You're just being stupid. But I won a championship, and I haven't seen one in 25 years, and I guess I'm frustrated and I'm spoiled. So I might be one of them spoiled Cowboy fans, and I probably should just shut up a little bit about Garrett. But win some playoff games, and I'm really going to keep my mouth quiet about you, bud.
Thanks for that comment, Lisa Cawley, Adam Dixon. And that's it for us. Until next week, that's Big Game James.
And that's producer G Voltron.
And we're out.
Peace. Merry Christmas.